Good morning. I'm talking to you from my kitchen, and I'm just mid cup of coffee, and just wanted to share a little bit more about the topic of thriving and what was coming up for me this morning during a meditation on the topic. I had an image come to mind of a trip that I took several years ago to Argentina. I was riding a bicycle many miles around the north of Argentina to talk with people about the environment and cleaning up trash and things like that. And we stayed with people in their homes. It seemed like the less people had, the more generous they were with what they had. And it was a real, the point of our message on this trip, I was there for 6 months, and the partner that I rode with was there for a year. We created a nonprofit called the Argentina Bike Project, and it was to spread a message about trash. And really the message was, don't aspire to the life that we're living in the North, because for all of the advertising and all of the goods that you see advertised about all this stuff, it's really not all that it's cracked up to be. And things that you have like time together, things that you have like, just time with each other, time to rest, time to get to know your neighbors, time in the outdoors. A lot of times, like, the more that you have, the more preoccupied you are with your stuff. And it was kind of a case in point, because on the trip, it really was like the more that people had, the more they kind of put a barricade around themselves and their things. If they had a whole lot, there was usually a gate with a lock on it. If they had very little, there was no gate, and they were completely accessible. It was the people with no gates at all, who had so very little, that welcomed us into their home, that let us sleep on their property, that let us camp out in their house. They did whatever they could to get food, to create a barbecue asado so that we could eat some of the most amazing meals underneath the moonlight. And we experienced this over and over and over again. And it was los que tienen, the haves, and los que no tienen, the have-nots. Those who have and those who don't have. And those who had, time and time again, didn't really want to share. Those who didn't have much shared everything. And I think about that, and I think about the lifestyle that we have really grown accustomed to in the North, and I'm part of that. I'm creating something here in our farmstead, because I really want to open our doors to people who want to come and visit and travel. And but I think, we're so preoccupied with our stuff, and it's the stuff that is if we didn't have stuff, if we didn't have a need for stuff, if we didn't have a want for stuff, I think the majority of our environmental issues would go away. It's this constant preoccupation with having more and more and more, that I think it takes us away from each other, and it is causing, wreaking havoc on the land around us. And I think that's the opposite of thriving. That preoccupation with the things is the opposite of thriving. I think one of the most beautiful things about navigating cancer and death, and those weeks and months leading up to Tim's passing, it became so apparent that none of the stuff matters. Tim at one point said, I don't care about any of my things. All I want is for, after I pass, like, I want you to take them on a trip. And I want you to share them with them, Italy, and all of the reasons why I loved it so much. It's a part of their, heritage. It's in their DNA, but I want you to take them there and show them. And we both wanted that for them. But it's, none of this stuff mattered. It still doesn't matter. I'm still going through some of his stuff. Most of it are, books and clothes and, things that help us get by in this world. There's a certain amount of stuff that feels like it allows us to be comfortable. It allows us to, it allows us to be comfortable. But beyond that, it just becomes a preoccupation and a barrier. And it is, I think it's responsible for our demise as a people, as a civilization. So I guess this is an invitation, to think about the role of stuff in your life. What are the voids that stuff is filling? What do you imagine the voids are that it will fill? And is that true? Are you preoccupied with having more things that you're hoping will fill some void that maybe could be filled in a better way? As I think of the coming holiday season, and I think of I can already hear my girls talking about things that they want, and it's really hard not to be in this culture and this civilization and not associate like holidays, birthdays with things, because we've been so conditioned to think of the stuff that makes that holiday meaningful. And I'm encouraging them to think of experiences. What are experiences that you want to have in the coming year? And so that I can be mindful in my gift giving, with giving in a way that allows us, like, opens up the door for more experience together. I'm just thinking a lot about that this morning, and I'm thinking about how that experience way back when kind of helped me see that, thriving in that environment was a good meal shared around an open fire. It was good conversation. And it really didn't get better than that. And I think about, the life that Tim and I were trying to build together, and it really centered a lot around food. And I think some of those experiences that I had in South America and prior to that in Europe really made me aware of how, meaningful a shared meal is. What a gift that is to the giver and the receiver. And and it's not about stuff at all. So don't get me wrong, some stuff is really helpful, and I'm not poo-pooing about having some things that make your life comfortable, that allow you to do things that you want to do. But I guess it's just a question or an invitation to explore, what is that stuff filling? Is the stuff in your preoccupation with it taking you from the things that really, really matter to you? Are the physical things allowing you to thrive? Are they allowing the earth around you to thrive? Is life calling you to something else, to something more? I really, in my heart of hearts, believe that we're all here right now for a reason. We all have reason and purpose in us. And I think the more true we are to what that is for each of us, I think the more the environment around us has an opportunity to thrive, because we'll be less preoccupied with things and having things and creating things and building things and usurping more of the land to build those things, and we'll be more in alignment with the flow of life. And when we're in alignment with the flow of life moving through us, that life gives to everything around us. And I think it adds to life. So that's it. That's my reflection for this morning. And I just wanted to share it with you and give you an opportunity to reflect on and explore that also. All right. Peace.